Boy, oh boy, it is time to hop into this one now. I tried to escape, I'm not going to lie. I tried to escape without giving my prediction. However, though, I am going to be going with Typical Gamer and Sore Thieves. I held on to these guys for such a long time. They were kind of like my sleeper pick coming into this tournament. Have to stick on board with them. But I do have to agree with you, Ryan. I think the aggression that they've shown, that was really a really big key aspect that I was thinking of as well. You're right, these guys are very talented. TSM guys cannot take anything away by any means. But what I've seen, right, as far as like typical play, and speaking of Typical Gamer, his overall communication in game, the knowledge, the chemistry seems to be there for these two guys, and I think that their kind of play style fits better to this current system as we get ready to go ahead and drop in.
Well, both teams look like they're wanting
landing
to drop.
Salty.
Yeah, landing salty. Both of teams are going to be doing so. I didn't see too many other players. Actually, I didn't see any other teams land there, so I don't know how many engagements they're going to be getting, but I suspect these two teams to kind of stick close together, kind of feed off of each other. We've seen that, right? That kind of seems to be the smarter play to do. You can steal kills. You can steal meds or any resources that come your way from opponent kills, and you can kind of just pace out and really time how many kills you're going to get in relation to the enemy team. So
and rest in peace to anyone who's coming Salty Springs right now. It's fair to say it's about to be a slaughterhouse, to say the least. It's going to be an awkward opportunity when you see all four of these guys really coming in toward the map. But it looks like off the break, a kill has already been found coming in from Daquan. It's a fantastic way to start off our current round one.
Daquan does find the blue pump and the blue AR as well off rip. It's obviously a great start to a kit.
Yeah,
this early.
Yeah, and also he's got that tack in his back pocket too, so could be quite deadly. He does get another engagement across the way, but someone down below him, and look at how he's building up. The opponent, though, seems to be building quite well as well, so this could be quite deadly. But his opponent makes a mistake, gets right in front of Daquan. He gets an easy pickup there. Actually, his Hamlinz is not going to knock him down. Daquan, he's going to go ahead and pick him up.
Oh, a gold scar found.
Between the two, and a gold scar found. This is looking bad for your boys.
Wow, that sets the tone. I think it's fair to say, Ryan, for our pick right now. Gold scar found, really technically shotgun set up there for Daquan too, but looks like on the top right, Typical Gamer, an engagement as well toward the top side of this house, sitting inside of Salty Springs. We'll see if Thief can try to get involved on the action as well. They're even things up in the overall kill totals as here comes the shot. I believe the knockdown, comes through. Hamlinz ends up stealing that kill.
Wow, so Typical Gamer did 90 damage to him. The guy drops down, he breaks the building, and then Hamlinz comes in and hits the one bullet to get him.
No, I'm curious.
That's part of the game.
He looks so disappointed too.
I'm super curious as to who followed who in the situation to Salty Springs. It looks like, I believe, Thieves ends up getting dropped. I'm not sure if that was on purpose. It's kind of an awkward scenario. Not really sure. But
I didn't check his health.
Yeah, I wonder if TSM followed Thieves and Typical Gamer. I mean, it's kind of hard to call, I guess, regarding who kind of feels rather the lesser of the two.
Well, regardless, I mean, you got to look at the momentum that the TSM crew already has at this point. They've already progressed from Salty over to Dusty Divot, and they are going to keep pursuing more kills. They're already sitting at 3 kills, whereas the other team, Typical Gamer, Sore Thief, sitting at 0.
They should have won, but
they should have won. But Hamlinz was a bit sneaky getting in there. And notice, because TSM squad was able to move forward, they're going to start to get potential more kills. But already Daquan in a lot of trouble, 32 health, and he goes down. This could be big, and Hamlinz needs to come in and save him.
They're going for the finish, too.
Yeah, here comes Hamlinz, though. The saving grace potentially for this match. A few shots on target, nearly dropping one. Has the opportunity to keep them in this game. This could be terrible.
They're both down.
Like that, they fall. You can see just the reaction there from Hamlinz. That's going to be an incredibly stressful situation. And you see right there, Typical Gamer realizing, okay, one has dropped, of course, a little bit delayed in the feed, but that is insane to watch what happens. And, of course, from Typical Gamer's point of view, he's able to watch everything at a distance. Once he sees those two guys fall, okay, cool. Now I have the ability to pick it up. We don't have any kills yet, but boys, that's about to change.
Wow, what?
Typical Gamer throwing the 2 nades in too. Smart play, throwing the nades at his his teammates in hopes that he's getting a guy that's trying to finish off the kills in the TSM boys.
And once Hamlinz drops, we talk about there's just going to be there's one gold scar. There's about to be another gold scar as well off of Hamlinz's body. There's going to be a blue pump along with the one pump already found for Typical Gamer. Like, they are going to sit pretty right now here as well, as they're going to imagine this: double scars. Nearly half the lobby is still alive.
Boys, I'm worried. I'm worried for my TSM
I think so.
boys, man. What a change of pace. I didn't see that coming. I really, truly,
that has been like that exact
coming.
reaction is the definition of this tournament so far. Is like totally unexpected, like not at all like I keep saying the word typical, but not at all like normal. Like, this is such an odd situation to be in. And, like, how often do you see Daequan and Hamlinz in a squads game going out when there's still about, 40, 50 people left?
Yeah, I think we just assume sometimes that because these players are so good that they can never die, right? And so for when you get, if you push 4 people, if the 4 people are okay, even if your 2 players are really good, if you're pushing 4 people, that's not always easy if you have people building above you, shooting above you.
Yeah, and considering the weapons they have. I mean, we talked about the one-shot potential, no shields. Like, I mean, there's so many little facets that come in that could absolutely change the entire tide of a game. And obviously showcases itself there as well.
Well, like I said, I really couldn't call it either way. If I had to pick TSM to pick them, but I mean, come on, typical gamer Thieves. I mean, they're a strong team. I mean, they have really truly impressed me.
Oh yeah.
Overall, I mean, they're a strong team. I don't know. I mean, like I said, it wouldn't surprise me if they come through and they reach the finals. It wouldn't surprise me. TSM would have. It was really a flip of the coin. Honestly,
see, Hamlin's just like, all right, well,
eating again.
Time to relax. Time to
got a bagel and cream cheese there, man. My man
is munching.
Gotta get those calories in, man.
Absolutely, dude. A long day of Fortnite grinding. Gotta get your calories in somehow.
Looks like a bagel and cream cheese. It appears to be. Oh, sorry, they're playing Fortnite, huh?
Yeah, man. Look at that shot coming in.
This guy is so oblivious. I mean, he just.
And this is what we keep talking about. Like, what I really like from these two.
Oh, the impulse nade.
Yeah, that's a nice impulse play coming in from no walls apparently, but one thing that I like though about Thieves and Typical Gamer is their ability. Like, they just have such awesome teamwork. And I know you were bringing this up, Taylor, heading into this match. Like, do these guys play with one another often? I mean, just based off this tournament, it's fair to say they at least know the play styles. They've got to have played at least in somewhat a few of our tournaments. Of course, they played last week, but do they have a whole lot of future together as far as teammates are considered remains to be seen. But these two guys, they just know how to rush together. They know it's to me, it comes down to like things like communication, etc. I don't really know what you'd call it, but these two guys are a force to be reckoned with. Thieves, yet again, about to find another kill, a knockdown, and nearly, I think his teammate actually shoots the barrier, nearly falls down to his death, but has the shields and the overall health to remain on. As, like I said, 3rd kill now added toward Thieves. I'm not exactly sure how many Typical Gamer has, but overall, we do know that it is going to have somewhat an advantage heading in toward map 2.
Typical Gamer, pretty.
Wait, he's got 0.
25, no meds. So I mean, that's pretty scary, to be honest with you. But still, 0 kills, does find a player, goes for another one, and that player's gonna have a slither of health. I'm assuming Thieves is gonna come through and maybe clean up that kill, but. Great teamwork.
Notice how Typical Gamer didn't push that because if you notice he only has 25 health, so pretty much one bullet in any.
But here comes the storm, though. Here comes the storm. This is absolutely going to play a huge factor. It's about how many kills you get, and he could be weathering the storm. He might just be kind of sacrificing himself, allowing to find this kill unless they have some type of med kit, anything to really help him. I think they might just be going for kills here.
Kind of curious what he's doing, yeah.
Or
maybe he's relying on the revive since Thieves has a lot of health.
Okay, so he drops the bandages.
He knows that team is pushing forward. Maybe they're going to stay in a storm.
They must have a launch pad.
I think they want to come up behind the team.
Well, how far is the zone away, though? That's
look at his screen. Look how far that is.
The zone is far, but he knew that team was coming. See, the team is right there. So really, if they were pushing, they're going to have a team behind them. So maybe they just want those kills. I mean,
yeah.
They do not get a kill if the storm knocks them, I believe. So.
Yeah, this is a very. I mean, they're kind of living on the edge. We talked about the scorecard at the bottom left.
He's not
a 1 kill difference.
Crazy far, but he's like.
Yeah, he'll survive if he plays this right. But
he only has 4 bandages left.
But imagine, right? If he ends up with 1 bullet to his body, there's no way Thieves isn't going to go back and save him.
Yeah, I mean, look at Thieves' health.
Yeah, this is a very interesting spot. Thieves thankfully happens to get inside the zone, but that's a very sketchy situation to be put in. Thankfully, they stay up for now. But
Typical's close. I think between the bandages and crawling out of the zone, I think that Thieves will be able to save him. But
I think they were just worried about that team, to be honest.
Yeah, Typical's going to make it.
They knew they couldn't push because, I mean, with him being at 25 health and Thieves at that point hadn't gave him anything.
That's going to be nice. That big pot right there.
That's going to help a lot. It's going to help a lot.
I don't know how someone hasn't looted this. I feel like that happens all the time. Like I don't really understand like how that even occurs necessarily. But regardless, happens to. Get the big pots, and they're going to be moving forward here. So, of course, we're looking at it from Hamlin's point of view, spectating the Thieves' perspective as he's got 5 kills by himself.
Chilling.
He is.
He had that bagel. He's like, I'm done.
Right now, obviously, we can't really hear the communication, but you can imagine, like, in their position as it stands, like they're most likely going over, like, okay, what's the blueprint heading into this next map? Because I know we saw the scorecard for a second. There isn't a massive amount of separation right now. Granted, there is still many kills to be found, but there isn't, like, it's not most likely going to be unheard of that they can make a – this isn't like one of our last series where it was like a 16-0 advantage toward one side. I mean, this is going to be within probably single digits. So.
Well, how many TSM squad, they got 3 kills, right? So I think it
was 4.
Was 3 or 4 kills. So they had 3 or 4 kills and then
actually,
so 4 or 5.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's really close. So
yeah, that's what I'm saying. So, like, there's 20 people left. They're probably not going to get more than, like, out of the, it's going to be single digits most likely is the lead of some sort. So it's not out of the question that Daquan and Hamlinz by any means can't come back. But one thing that you have to give credit to, we've seen Thieves and Typical Gamer in a few series up to this point, and one thing that's really been nice for them is their ability to stay alive. We've talked about Ninja. We talk about Shroud's team. We talk about even TSM's team now. A lot of them have fallen to these early deaths, and that's what's going to continually be a problem if these squads can't stay alive in the early game. And it's going to be a question as the tournament kind of continues on. Do teams play a little bit more passive regarding, the amount of competition that are in these random lobbies? It's going to be really, I don't know, it's going to be odd to watch and see whether or not the pace of the game slows down for both these squads as time goes on, or if the teams are going to continually to play at this fast-paced level.
There's a lot of money on the line. I mean, that's definitely going to weigh in on them if they're playing this overall. I mean, but
10,000 beans, baby.
10,000. I mean,
it's a lot of them.
You would think they would slow down. I just be honest with you. After watching Typical Gamer and his part Thief, I don't think they can slow down. I don't think they know the definition of slowing down. I mean, they're so incredibly aggressive.
But like I said, they have such a good pace about them, but their like level of just like their overall knowledge of like where they're at, the ability to stay alive. Like in that last situation where they're in the storm, like the bandages get tossed out, they're fully aware of one another's health. Like it's just overall the synchronization is absolutely there for this team. And we even talk about like 2 guys who are literally living in a team house right now, playing for TSM in a pro level for this exact game, are also starting to see some struggles, but these guys aren't. Like, it's a matter of communication, chemistry coming into play, and right now it seems as if you got to give the advantage to Thieves and Typical Gamer, but Thieves gets tagged up heavily. Got to imagine that was probably a sniper rifle in the hands of someone, but is decently weak as it stands. And one thing that I like as well, that's probably going to be a little bit of an advantage heading in toward this map number 2, is that Daquan and Hamlinz, they get to see how the enemy plays, right? They're seeing exactly the loadout, not the exact loadout, but they're seeing a majority of their weapons, what they like to do around the map, like what kind of weapon preferences they'd like to have as well. They're learning a lot about this team as they get to spectate them to the latter half of this game as well. Oh, he just threw up Band-Aids there.
It's kind of letting the game play itself out and seeing what's happening. Obviously,
for as early as the TSM guys died, though, I mean, they're not going to be down as much by the end of this game as I guess could get scary.
I figured it would be a lot more scary at this point than it definitely is right now. But it's.
I mean, there's still
there's still plenty of kills.
17
left.
kills in the map for him,
kills,
but
and that's when the RNG comes into play.
Right.
Like this is such a huge moment for the TSM guys. It's like, thank God they are not having constant engagements because Lord knows if we see Typical and Thieves in either of those, they're going to come out of it a majority of the time. But just as we start to talk about engagements, a lot of damage being done, fortresses being taken down by the fire of Thieves from afar, and it looks like he could be taking down more as it currently stands. With it back to the zone, he's got his teammate just underneath him, and they are lighting up these fortresses right now here, Ryan.
It's like they're building up to the action now, no longer shooting from afar.
Yep. And I think they don't really have a whole lot of meds. Of course, we can't see Thieves' perspective, but he doesn't look like he has maybe a med kit of any kind, probably very low on shields as well. So they're looking at this as an investment.
Yeah, these builds are also in this, should be part of the builds in the zone at least, too. So that's going to be important because they were out of the zone before.
9 damage, really? That hurts.
Well, still, the knock does come in, and there's the kill.
Yep.
To get it. So that's 2 knocks. And, of course, I believe there's still players around him, so he's got to be very aware of what's going on. There is a John Wick, in fact, pushing him from the front, but it looks like one of them is going to be shotgun. So
gotta be careful.
A big shot coming in, 34 health. He's going to try and use
he's a campfire.
He's got some minis. He has a campfire, and I believe he also has some bandages as well that he might decide to use. But definitely getting tested here as the team is going to be pushing up. Both players going to be pushing on them.
Yeah, they have 2 different teams firing at them right now.
There's a ton of teams coming at them right now. I mean, the fact of the matter is they're having to split their attention both ways, and that could in fact be deadly. But still, like Ryan said before, this is in fact extra credit for both sides because of the TSM squad going down. And they got quite a bit of help.
And you see them like they're constantly like tossing out like little things to each other, whether it's bandages, even like little like wood and stuff like that.
It's
like
good teamwork.
Yeah, it's fantastic teamwork, and I'm also a little bit surprised as well that we see the scoped AR being used as much as we have. Obviously, it's a very reliable tool, but I think it was Ninja bringing up a few different times. I was like, this weapon actually could be fantastic when it comes into future competitive games, just because you don't really have an assault rifle like that exists with the characteristics of being able to scope in as far as you do. But here comes the jump pad. They want to get back in the action. The kills are what's at stake. 14 players remain besides themselves, and they're ready to really kind of feast on what is left.
Got the RPG.
The RPG coming in, and it looks like they will finish off yet again another opponent. The rocket gets tossed down, and their opponent's left, right, and center.
Wow.
Typical gamer is going to add toward his kill total. Thieves with 6.
And some shields.
The kills are starting to rack up.
Yeah, the kills are definitely racking up.
So this is where it gets scary.
They're looking really good. Still 8 players remaining, 8 potential kills.
They've got med kits. I mean, they've got everything.
They've got everything they possibly need. Sniper, RPG, blue shotgun. They got a heavy shotgun as well that they were using. They have so many different options. It's insane.
They bought like 35 minis, like 26 big pots, and 97 med kits, I think.
To touch on your point earlier with the scoped AR as well, with the most recent update for that weapon, they made it 100% accuracy. So that's part of what makes it so. When I say 100% accuracy, I don't mean that obviously every bullet's 100%, but there's essentially no bloom on it.
Right.
And so I mean, with a really skilled player who can hit shots from a distance, it actually can be super deadly, especially if we talk about in a team environment competitive, because it is going to always be reliable if you hit your shots.
That player was just trying to build up, it looked like, and he's going to pay for it and gets taken out. Another potato has come in. Thieves passed, and now it comes down to 7 more kills. And man, the kills already. I mean, we're looking at Thieves right now. He only has
Thieves has 7 kills.
So he has 7 kills. And then do we know how many his partner has? Typical gamer.
I know Typical Gamer picked up at least 2 in the last fight. So they're definitely stacking up quite a bit.
9 over 3, 6.
And he's getting kills in the kill feed
6
now.
kill lead. Now more kills coming down. They could very well have close to a 10 kill lead going into this.
But reminding everyone at home, right, of course, this is a winner's bracket match. So if you do see your favorite team, one of your favorite players, if they're in the lobby right now, they're not eliminated as of yet. Of course, still another map to come. But we still do have another chance at potentially becoming victors for tonight. But definitely seems likely that we will be seeing the Thieves and Typical Gamer duo at least having a huge advantage when it comes down to the next map. As he is just building fortress after fortress, trying to build up, and this is fantastic building coming in from Thieves, turning a defensive play now into an offensive one as he has the advantage in his favor and trying to seek out where this man could be hiding. Layers on top of layers is how the setup currently stands, just like that. Another big kill coming in from Typical Gamer, as I believe he actually picks up 2, both with a knockdown. And with 4 players left, I mean, we could be looking at another 4 kills added on to the overall total that this team possesses. They are looking fantastic. They've got 2 fireplaces. It's fair to say, guys, they're sitting cozy.
I'm just getting so used to watching them getting engagements and just taking it for granted that they're not going to die. I mean, because they're just so accurate and so good at what they're doing. I mean, not to mention they're getting so lucky with all these fireplaces. Look at it, just fireplaces everywhere.
Double campfire.
Just getting the health back so quickly. They have minis left and right. We've seen them accumulate so many over time. They now have a massive lead. They continue that lead. They've got, 46 rockets. I mean, over 1,000 per AR. They could just mow down these fortresses, mow down the players, and that's exactly what they're doing. Is another push going through. Of course, the circle is getting pretty close, and the game is coming to an end. Only 4 kills remaining for the 2 men of Typical Gamer and Thieves, and a player is, in fact, going to push. RPG is going to break it down, taking some massive damage still, managing to get away. Look at those building skills.
That zone hits for a lot, too.
Yeah, needs to
get
out of
5
there.
per.
Oh, that's not his wall. He needs to get out. Doesn't have a whole lot in his possession. You see.
Huge build on that ceiling there.
Yeah.
That was clutch.
Yeah, huge build to add, and, of course, no shields. No bandages, no med kits, nothing to work with. Solid 21 HP. Thieves, I believe, doesn't have at least any shields for now either. As granted, not many players left. They do have the advantage, but every single kill matters. We've seen that so far throughout the entire tournament, and it's not about to change anytime soon. And I like the little triangle addition that he adds to the top of that building there, Ryan. Kind of adds a lot more health and kind of lets him stay at bay for a little bit longer.
Yeah, it's something they never really used to use. But, Ryan, I mean, him using that, obviously, you were a big fan of that.
Yep.
So it looks like Thieves backing up. They could be trying to add a fortress themselves, rather having 2 players than just 1. And he's going to be giving away, looks like a little bit of, oh yeah, he was almost out of mats.
He gave him mats,
yeah. And there's, it looks like a toss-off.
Mini pots.
For a little bit of minis, so going to rock those as well.
A little bit of a buff.
And they're definitely getting hit hard. This other squad is not at all one to mess with. They definitely have some explosives in their arsenal.
Any normal players are dead. These guys are both, I mean, the defensive building they've had has been crazy.
Yep, here comes
I think if you're typical gamer, you're trying to just rack up.
Oh, there he goes. So 7 kills for typical gamer. I know Thieves at least had 7 at some point. So that's.
I think they both had 7.
Something along those lines. Yeah.
14 to 3, 11 kill lead going into.
It's at least something like it's something along those lines. Like that's
massive.
That's a hefty advantage, and it's one thing, right? We
advantage.
were talking about earlier. It was the matter of like a 5 to 6 kill difference is obviously big, but when you got these two teams, they're in the winners finals for a reason. We've got to watch over both these squads in past. I mean, we're talking about a 10+ lead of any kind.
That's big.
Oh, that's huge, and what's really going to have to rely for the TSM guys, it's going to have to rely on RNG. Like they're going to have to really hold on to a lot of the outside stuff, but we maybe even see the same strategy come out, Ryan, where it's a matter of like one guy goes toward, you know, like maybe I don't know, like a Salty Springs or maybe in a Pleasant Park. Your other teammate has to maybe go to like a Tilted Towers. They might have to pull the Ninja and King Richard strat out and see if they can rock with it. But it's going to be a very difficult map too, to say the least, gentlemen.
You know what I just thought about actually? We've been talking about this RNG and these going into these public matches and how random they can be. Think about that player out there who is just playing the game to have fun, but just randomly gets a big kill on one of these players and knocks him out of a $10,000 tournament.
Like
this guy doesn't even know that he could have cost this guy thousands of dollars just by knocking him out of the tournament, and that's been happening consistently. That's why I'm really a fan of watching this, because it's like there's some big kills that happen, and some of these players may not even know what's going on.
Look at that score, man.
Well, it's not 11.
Sheesh.
It's not 11. It's 10, but still 10 is quite a bit.
That's a headache.
Yeah, carry the one. Yeah, that's 10. That's a lot.
That's a headache and a half.
that.
That's a headache and a half. Yeah, that's going to be a.
Because you got to keep in mind too,
comeback.
like, so you're going into the game down 10, right? But then you also got to remember you're playing Thief and typical gamer.
They're at least going to get
who
like
are
5
not
kills
who are
apiece.
not going to stop moving and not going to stop getting kills, right? So,
It's scary.
I mean, you can honestly argue, right? Like going back to mathematics here for a second. So up by 10, they obviously have a 10 kill lead right now. You could probably assume between themselves, at the very least, probably going to have 8 kills as a team at the least. So 18 kills that you really have to try to add up toward. That's going to be a very big difference coming into this map. Of course, it's going to relate a lot on RNG. It's going to relate on where they want to locate. And like I said, I want to ask you guys really quickly. Do you think we see them pull up like the one-man strat toward different towns? I think that probably is at least a thought process to come forward. But I almost think they have to do it at this point.
I honestly don't think we do.
You don't think so?
I don't see it because just because of Daquan.
I think we do, right? That looks like Daquan's going to.
No. Well, you know what? You're right.
Yeah, they're going to several places.
Yeah, Dusty Divot
Maybe this is
and Retail Row.
I want to actually pay attention to Hamlinz if he does go Dusty Divot, because this is such a chaotic place to be at.
I wouldn't.
He's going to limit over
yeah,
it.
No,
he's
I can't.
okay, so he's
There's so much risk involved with the hop rocks.
Well,
And
but
I think
They basically have to kind of hope.
Okay,
to be honest.
so what's happening is that Daquan's going to follow the other team, right? He's going to follow typical gamer along with Thieves, and it looks like he's going to hold on and let Daquan try to battle it out when it comes down to Retail Row. I mean, that's it's a very risky strategy to call.
I think if you worry, he's going to probably end up worrying too much about the other team's kills rather than getting his own kills, because at the end of the day, like, they need to get a lot of their own kills. And as you can already see on the bottom left-hand screen, typical gamers are already starting.
Yeah, so of course, guys, the left feed is a little bit progressed farther than the right side feed. So as far as progression, what we're going to be looking at, as far as an official update, it's going to be the left side of the screen for the TSM guys of Daquan and Hamlinz. But, yeah, there's the, of course, top right for a second. We see typical gamer pick up 2, and just like that, Daquan also finds one, at least a knockdown, rather. And he's got to be aware that, here comes a secondary push, takes down 1 as well. So 2 put-downs, and with another squad lingering at any point, the pressure is absolutely on Daquan in the situation, guys.
I must think there's a player right behind that door just chilling out. He's going to go ahead and go for the push. I guess nobody's going to be there.
He got tagged from behind.
He did get tagged from the back.
And you see he has to go for these put-downs. He has to go for the put-downs. Here comes the big moment, and yes, drops one as well. There's still one last player to the squad remaining. Where is he at? And Daquan, all he needs to do is just try and stay alive. Med up, my friend, because a battle is still yet to come. Players beginning to fall, and it looks like Daquan is going to med up on the opposite end for his teammate Hamlinz. He's still sticking with these guys. He also does find a kill as well. So as far as the in-game score, it looks like it is going to be 4 for TSM and 3 for Typical Gamer and Sword Thief. So it's 13
still a 9-point
total
lead
for Typical and Sword. Yeah, but a 9-point lead. Or 9-kill lead, rather. And just like that, big moments for Hamlinz. As each kill starts to go down, that's somewhat of hope for TSM to advance.
I mean, you got to respect Daquan at this point.
And take a look at this. Hamlinz in the bottom left.
And Hamlinz
trying to steal the kill.
Trying to steal the kill. I mean, he did this before.
Oh,
and
I love that play.
Did he get the knock?
Typical Gamer
So
got
watch
it.
this. Watch
Typical
this in the
Gamer
top
got it.
right. What you're going to notice at a Typical Gamer is he actually edits the wall so that only he can jump through it. This is such a smart strategy. We'll get to witness this one again. Watch this play, though. So, of course, he obviously realizes that Hamlinz is right behind him. He builds the wall. Actually, I'm going to go and build myself. Here's the top left corner. Yep, I'm good. I'm going to take the kill. Sorry about that, Hamlinz.
Super heads up.
That is a very smart play.
That's a good catch, Landon. That's really smart. Really smart. And that just comes to show the games you could play. I mean, yeah, you guys are on the same team, but you could still mess over the other guy quite easily depending on how you do it.
Yeah, you see Hamlinz just being a nuisance right now. He's like just casually walking in front of him, trying to delay anything he possibly can, making it a headache, fair to say, for Typical. And Thief is his teammate, still staying alive. Shout out to Daquan, man. He's got 4 frags, but going to need to continually be at that pace, as it looks like Retail Row could be coming to an end as far as the level of presence and the enemies that could be existing there.
Yeah, still considerable lead from the boys of Typical Gamer and Sword Thief over there with at least 9-kill lead at this point. Daquan and Hamlinz split up considerably. See if they'll find each other over time, but Daquan does have a player.
Oh. Yeah,
in
and honestly,
front of him, and I believe behind him as well, almost maybe.
And we really need to be focusing on Daquan quite a bit because he's essentially what makes or breaks this game as far as the series is considered. Of course, ladies and gentlemen, we are in the winners finals. As it currently stands, Typical and looks like tagged up heavily.
4 HP.
No, this is so dangerous.
He does have
Daquan.
bandages, though.
Well, he has bandages, but he's also getting pushed so aggressively by 2 other players. Now, his teammate Hamlinz actually was relatively close, I believe, so he could actually come in and try to help. But he goes. He's still being ultra aggressive with just
no
4
mats.
health.
He ran out of mats.
He's going
one
for
bullet
it.
Kills
got
him.
One
bullet kills him.
There's one player just below him that just jumped down. Still,
he wants to hit the tree so bad.
Oh, he can't. Look,
he can actually use that as a little bit of
cover.
cover.
He goes for the edit. The player just runs right by him. He's going for the kill. Comes down with the attack. Gets a shot. And he gets
what
it.
A play.
Goodness.
Wow. And he still has bandages. He has some minis as well.
Hamlinz just went big.
Daquan going big as now 6
Daquan, apologies.
6 kills for him. 1 kill for Hamlinz. But then again, I'm looking, let's see where so Thief
That's
currently
6.
sitting at 2 and then 4, so 6. And 7, so still a 9-kill lead.
Only 30 kids left too. You gotta keep that in mind.
Yeah,
keeping it. I mean, you gotta respect how Daquan's playing, but that lead is hurting them so badly.
And you also notice like Hamlinz decides to kind of distance himself from the pack. He's like, okay, this isn't really working out too well. Granted, I got a kill. That's great, but like I said, Ryan, I know it's obviously not paying off now, but it was still kind of an odd strategy for him to kind of hang with that team. Like he's putting so much pressure. Like essentially, if you're in Daquan's spot, he probably needs to find like 7, 8, 9 kills to even give them a position, let alone the kills that are going to be coming in from Typical and Sword Thief later. But obviously, it just doesn't work out for them too well. But game, necessarily not young, but it's a little bit older. As, like I said, 30, or about 29 rather, players still exist. And right now, if you're TSM, you got to go big. And obviously, they're realizing the situation at case, or in hand right now.
If I'm the team that's down in that situation, I want as far away from my opponents as possible. I don't want any situation where they can take my kills, right? I said you don't want to worry more about their kills. You want to worry about yours. I'd be as far away from them as possible, trying to rack up as many kills as I can.
Ooh, and look at that kill difference. Not really much of a
still 9,
a change, right? 11 to 20.
They closed the gap by 1 with 30.
And
30 kids left.
that is a scary scoreline for anyone who has to face off against Typical and Thief later. They're in the winners finals, and they're finding 20 kills with still about 28 opponents left.
I think realistically, I mean, they have to hope that Thief and Typical Gamer just get fried, and then they have to go, and then they have to go on a rampage. I mean, it's not looking good for the side of TSM, but and Typical Gamer and Sword Thief have to know that too. They have to know that hey, we need to stay alive. We can't just They basically just can't give up everything.
And it could have been so different in that first round when Daquan and Hamlinz pushed over there at Dusty Dividend. They just would have managed to pick up those kills. I mean, look how close this is. It would have been coming down the mere numbers, mere kills towards the end of this. But it's kind of really taken away from them at this point. Only 25 kills coming in. But Hey, we're going to go to a replay relatively soon with Daquan picking up those amazing kills, and here it is on your screen. This is where Daquan really went big. This was an important moment, and, and Lennon, you pointed this out. He had 4 health at one point. He's about to take some damage as that player gets right in there.
Like, props to him for escaping, but the amount of mats that he uses, without question, puts him in the most awkward spot possible. Literally has a full squad looking at him. He's got him boxed in. He knows exactly where their positions are going to lie. Picks up some huge kills here. And, of course, you see him. He realizes, okay, I'm about to be down on mats. And then once this happens, he realizes, okay, I have to hit the tree. I need to, like, do something to try to get some mats. And, unfortunately, he does get some fantastic timing to officially stay up.
That build out right there was key because the player didn't know where he was. Then he had to go behind him, hits 2 good shots, gets both elims.
Exactly what he needed. But
and as we come back in, you see Thieves now getting the bottom kills is eliminated. So now Thieves has more kills. And then Hamlinz goes down.
Wow.
This, I mean,
yeah, he's done.
This is just about all she wrote.
It definitely is. Daquan, he's been playing his heart out. He's been playing so incredibly well. But with Hamlinz down now as well, I mean, just not going to be able really to help out at this point. So typical gamer and Sword Thief, I mean, boys, you predicted it, and it's looking pretty good for them.
And it's hard to call, right, Ryan?
It's
because,
so hard to
like,
call.
I know we obviously made the prediction for typical gamer and Sword Thief, but, like, realistically, to me, it was like 50-50. Like, the only reason why I went typical and Sword Thief was kind of like what you mentioned, like their fast-paced play. I mean, really kind of what led into it was they're practicing heading into this particular matchup. They're casually dropping 28 kills, you know, in random lobbies, you kind of practicing for this exact match. I mean, they have just looked absolutely on par so far throughout this tournament, and are looking to potentially be having a spot in the top 2.
I mean, look at them still landing shots from that range is just phenomenal.
Like, typical has a green AR. Like, he doesn't really have a whole lot, yet he has 4 frags.
Like, and a great tack. I mean, not a lot of options. Picks up a little something extra. Now, it's got a great tack.
It's just really insult to injury at this point. I think, like, based on kills right now, as we currently stand, I think basically Daquan has to find every single kill left. Every single one.
Literally. Which
honestly, this would be the greatest moment in Fortnite history.
Yeah.
If Daquan could pull this off. Granted, miracles are nice.
Just cancel Fortnite at that point. Like,
yeah, like miracles are nice, but they're called miracles for a reason because they don't happen very often. But yeah, it looks to be done.
Yeah, it definitely does. But I mean, hey, nonetheless, TSM is still going to be in the loser bracket, so they have a chance to come back. And like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if I see these guys in the finals. But then again, we have still some great teams left.
Yeah,
so
well, like once this kind of comes to an end, I really want to take a look at our bracket if we could, just to really see where everything is lining out. And like I said, we've been on this match for a while. I mean, we've probably seen a few Titans fall, and it's kind of very questionable as to where King Richard and Ninja are at. How are the FaZe guys doing? I know Pamaj and Salty were making a pretty decent losers run as well. Like, where are those guys at too? So, man, we're really coming down to the wire, and it's been an awesome ride so far, I think it's fair to say.
Oh, it has been, and it's been an unpredictable one at best.
I mean, absolutely.
Really couldn't have predicted any of this, but it just comes to show, like, how volatile, you know, this game mode can be with the RNG.
It hurts, yeah.
It really hurts. Like I said, you could just be playing the game casually,
Daquan.
not even know about the stream, and you could be knocking someone out of a $10,000 tournament. I mean, it's just, but I personally
There are
really
2
like
enemies
that.
still in front of him?
Look at him. I mean, Daquan's is such a talented player.
Shotgun is.
If I'm Hamlinz, I'm not telling him what all the score difference is right now. I'm just like, hey, kill everything, dude. You got to kill everything.
Yeah, I mean, look at this. Daquan has 12 kills. I think it's still too little, too late. But
yeah, you're right. Yeah, he does.
But I mean, Daquan coming off for 12 kills in this game, just.
Like I said, that first game, Dusty Divot, they don't go down. I mean, it could have been a totally different story.
Well, you got a question too.
I
12
I'd stay
kills
away from that area the whole time.
Like 12 kills for Hamlinz. Or excuse me, for Daquan, where like if Hamlinz doesn't follow them, he only finds 1 kill for like the first I think it's for like 5-10 minutes he's with them.
Yeah.
Like if they change up that strategy, if he decides to maybe hang off a little bit on the outskirts of say like a retail or something like that, I mean they could be essentially this could be coming down to the wire right now.
Yeah, I think he shot himself in the foot. Like totally. Like
no pun intended, of course, but
of course.
Not actually. Can't really commit damage to yourself, but
yeah,
well, but it's true though.
Yeah, no, there's honestly no reason to be worrying more about your opponent's kills than your kills when you're the one who's down.
Exactly.
Right? If you're the one who's up, okay, I totally understand that. Follow them, make it hard for them, screw around with them a little bit, make it hard for them to close the gap. But if you're the one who needs to close the gap, you don't want your opponents with you potentially shooting the same people. It just doesn't make sense.
Exactly. And I know we were kind of talking about that strategy earlier. We got to witness that one from Ninja and King Richard when they were playing. And obviously it didn't work out for them. Maybe the TSM guys saw that and were like, hey, maybe we don't want to try that full-on strategy. Didn't work out for them. We'll kind of do like a half strat. But really when you're down the way that you are versus this team, you got to take some risks.
I'm telling you, Daquan is an animal.
Still wilding.
He's an animal, man.
He's one of my favorite streamers to watch personally. Really enjoy it. I mean, look at it. It's just absolutely insane. He's just, regardless if he's down, he's showing his potential. He's showing his great overall skill set.
And Daquan finishes the game with 15. 15.
You know, you said he almost needed to pick up every single kill, and he just about did that. So wonderful. But, hey, nonetheless, guys, that's it. I mean, TSM, they're going to be moving down to the loser bracket. But, I mean, seriously, what a close one it could have been if Dusty Diva just didn't work out for TSM. But if it would have worked out, who knows what it would have been.
Yeah.
But TSM, they're going to move into the loser bracket, and we're going to see your boys move on to the winner bracket final.
Right here, prediction master. Oh,
I was
trying to break that?
I was trying to block it.
Get him out! Get him out of here! But speaking of getting out of here, who is eliminated? Where is everyone standing at? If we could actually take a quick look at the bracket here in just a second, we really need to see who has fallen, who is still alive in this one. I really want to know what's happening.
I want to see the losers bracket. That's what I want to see.
I want to see where the FaZe guys are because they were super. Like I think their part of the losers bracket was still pretty far back. But we know anything about Cloakseat, Tfue, like those guys are absolutely unreal. I think you said that Tfue actually holds like the solo kills record in the entire game of Fortnite. Like, geez, man, like that's absolutely unreal. But gonna take a quick look at the bracket right now. Of course, this is the winner's side. So as it stands, it looks like we do have, like I said, Typical Gamer and Sword Thief advancing themselves into the grand finals. As far as the losers is considered, it looks like it is currently Tfue and Cloakseat battling it up against Nick at 30 and One Shot Girl. Winner of that match faces off against Pomage and Salty. Winner of that game faces off against King, Richard, and Ninja.
It appears Pomage won the Optic battle.
Oh, yeah, he did.
Pomage and Salty take out Courage and Teep.
And that team, who did they take out earlier in the? I forget who Courage
took
and
out,
Teep took out.
Wasn't it Nick?
Yeah,
it was Nick Merckx
took the
and Cypher. Yeah.
And so
wow. So a lot of
and Ninja and King Richard still. Oh, we still have some good. Some good teams in there.
We still have some very solid squads remaining, but. Even I like one to look out for, like potentially FaZe, Tfue, and Co. versus King Richard and Ninja. Like that's a possible match. Like, oh my gosh! Like
I mean, it's still the tournament.
It's still early.
The tournament started off amazing, and it's still amazing, and it's probably going to end amazing. I mean, we're talking about powerhouse teams still in it, and you guys, please in the chat, let us know. Tweet at us at UMG events, or you can even tweet us individually. Let us know who you guys think will totally win. I mean, ultimately, it's phenomenal. I'm excited for it. Do you have any other news?